Yo, what is up everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick preview of what to expect during today's matches during CDL Major 1, Day 3, as well as what happened in yesterday's matches because it was quite a doozy. So getting right into it, we kicked the day off with a huge upset. Of course, the LA Thieves lost 3-0 to the Los Angeles Guerrillas, and you guys know yesterday I thought that this was not possible in the slightest, and then the Thieves just got smoked. So not really sure what to make of that. That was just one of those upsets that you see sometimes and you're just like, alright, well, there's not really a lot to take from this. Going into the matchup against FaZe today on the Guerrillas side, I don't think that they're beating FaZe. I just don't think it's possible. The Thieves did have their struggles, so this isn't necessarily like something that's going to send the community into a frenzy, but it definitely is an upset just because the Thieves went 4-1 in their opening week. But I saw a stat yesterday saying that Group B is 5-0 against Group A, so no one in Group A has won a single matchup against Group B teams. I guess Group B is just the harder group to beat, so let's see if that continues today. Yeah, that was a big upset. Wasn't really expecting that. Of course, in our second matchup of the day, we had Optic taking on the Subliners. And Optic looked really good. They came out in 3-0'd. Dashy was just frying on a different level. He's really trying to stake his claim as the best in the game, as it seems right now. And I think he had like a 2 KD and maybe the hard point or something. There was some map in the series where he had a 2 KD, which is absolutely insane. He was just frying the entire time. And the Subliners really didn't stand a chance against Optic. They were firing on all cylinders, and it was just stomping. That's just what it was. I mean, Subliners are a great team, so I don't expect that to continue going into today, their matchup against the Florida Mutineers, but Optic is looking pretty good, so that's a good takeaway for them. And for the Subliners, I mean, that was a stress test, and they can regain, but that was not a great showing for them, so we'll see how they bounce back later on today. Of course, in our next matchup, we had the Paris Legion taking on the Florida Mutineers, and this one was really interesting, right? The Florida Mutineers, like I said, they haven't been in good form consistently as of late, but they turned up when it mattered, right? They beat the Seattle Surge 3-1. They also beat the Paris Legion 3-1 yesterday, so that was a bit of an upset for me. I thought Paris was the better team, but, you know, Florida was the better team on the right day. So, honestly, I think that this is going to be a very interesting season rivalry between the two teams, right? They're now 1-1, so I'm interested to see how this plays out throughout the rest of the season. This will not be the last time that they match up, and I think this is going to be an interesting grudge match all year long. So the Mutineers are in a good spot going into today's matchup against the Subliners, who just came off a loss to Optic, so we'll see how that matchup goes. Of course, in our last matchup of the day, we saw the Minnesota Rocker taking on the Toronto Ultra, the battle in the north, and it was an interesting series. I mean, the Ultra really, they turned up. I mean, I said that they needed to turn up, and they turned up. So, honestly, they came out really hot, and they beat Minnesota Map 5. Minnesota made a lot of mistakes. Definitely on Map 4, they should have won it. They were in a good position to win it. Attach was going like triple positive at some points, and they still couldn't pull it out. So I think Minnesota, they have to go back to the drawing board, figure out what's going wrong, and just kind of game plan going into the second split of the Pro League. Looking ahead to today's matches, we kick things off with Atlanta FaZe taking on the LA Guerrillas. And for me, this is a -1.5. I don't think the Guerrillas will repeat their performance that they had against the 100 Thieves side yesterday. I think that 100 Thieves are just in a weird spot right now after that loss to Dallas. I think that kind of took the air out of their balloon, if you will. And I'm looking to see how they bounce back later on today, which I think they will. I think the LA Guerrillas just came out really hot, and they are the Thieves' hard counter, just because they have such incredible teamwork. You guys know that I am a big advocate for teamwork in COD. It's the most important thing, and the Guerrillas have that in droves. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup all season long, the battle for LA. But as it stands, I think that Atlanta FaZe, RCDs, Abizi, Simp, and of course Cell, they just have too much firepower, and I think they will overwhelm the Guerrillas and beat them pretty convincingly 3-1 or 3-0. So minus 1.5 I think is a pretty safe lock for that, as well as Moneyline phase. Looking ahead to our second matchup of the day, I see this being a pretty close one against Optic and the Dallas Empire. I think the Optic do have potential to come out and either 3-0 or 3-1 them if they come out hot enough. But the Empire, I mean, they're the defending champs, so you just can't rule them out. I think this one should go down to the wire, if we're being honest, right? Like looking at the personnel on both teams. Of course, Dashy, Scump, Envoy, and Formal taking on Shotzi, Hook, Illy, and Crimsix. I mean, these are 8 of the best players in the world, without a doubt. And these are 2 top 3 teams in everybody's power rankings. So this is going to be a really, really interesting matchup. This is going to be a great match. And I don't think it'll disappoint. I think it goes down to the wire. But I think Optic Gaming takes it in a Game 5. You know I'm Greenwall till the end of the day. So I'm going to back Optic. I'm going to take them money line in this series. But I will not take any handicaps just because it's such an unpredictable series. And taking a handicap in this series, I feel, is a great way to just torch cash, just being honest. Of course, in our next matchup, we have the New York Subliners taking on the Florida Mutineers. And this one, I'm not really sure what to expect going in. New York is not in great form after that loss to Chicago, but who's to say that they're in bad form necessarily? I think Chicago just came out really hot. They played their game, and they won. But I think Chicago is just the better team personnel-wise, and I think that's why they won. Of course, they were just in great form yesterday as well, and I think they figured a lot out going into this major, and they're really hungry. So the loss to New York, I don't know that there's really a lot of takeaways for them. The better team won, right? The better team on paper won, and they just came out really hot and fried from the start. So what can you really do to counter that? In this matchup, I do think that they will take the victory over the Florida Mutineers. I think that Paris is a good team, yes, but they're not airtight, let's say. Right, so they made a lot of really simple mistakes that they could have avoided, and that's what caused them to lose yesterday. But I don't see New York making those same mistakes, and for that reason, I have them winning the series. But I think it will go down to the wire. I think it's a Game 5, and I think New York wins it on the back of a hero performance from Clayster. He was pretty frustrated yesterday, so I think he's gonna really dig deep and pull out a great performance later on today. But we'll see. Maybe the Mutineers come out hot and smoke them. Who knows? It's a major, right? Lots of upsets guaranteed. So in our last matchup of the day, we will have the Los Angeles Thieves taking on the Toronto Ultra. And the Ultra, they're in really good form. They've won 2 Game 5s in the last 2 days. Of course, they started off beating the London Royal Ravens, a team that they really shouldn't have gone to Game 5 with. And then they beat the Minnesota Rocker, a team that they really should have gone to Game 5 with. So I think Toronto, they have a lot of momentum on their side. But I think the Thieves are really trying to rebound here and just kind of stabilize because they got punched in the mouth yesterday, right? They should have beat the Gorillas, and they didn't. So I think today they're going to come out, and they're going to frown all accounts, right? Kenny's going to step up. He had a really rough series. I think Tej, he had a pretty decent series, but he struggled a little bit towards the end, definitely in the control. Temp was playing really well yesterday, and so was Slasher. So I think it's really just on Kenny and Tej to step up today. If they do, then they beat the Ultra. If they don't, then they go home, right? So I think those guys will step up. They are, when the chips are down, let's say, Kenny and Tej definitely love to step up and just perform in those big pressure situations. So we'll see how things go in that Thieves matchup. The Ultra are definitely not a team to take lightly. They've been clutching up when they need to. They've been playing well together finally this season, and they're turning it around at the right time, right? So we'll see how it goes. These are all money matches today. Of course, all the teams that have gone home already, Paris, Seattle, Rocker, and London, are going home with no earnings. But now is when the money starts to be made, right? So if you go home from here on out, you will have made some money. May not be what you wanted to make, but you earn the money. So we'll see how things go now that money is on the line for these teams, I guess a little bit more immediately, right? Before it was on the line, but you had to make it through 9th through 12th, and the 4 teams that didn't obviously went home penniless. So we'll see how things go today. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. The only upset potential that I really see is in the last 2 matchups, right? Teams are playing elimination matches. Those are always very, very unpredictable. Mutineers are looking really hot. They're on a 2-game win streak, and they haven't gone to Game 5 yet. Subliners just got 3-0'd, so there's potential for them to lose that. Of course, in the case of the Thieves, they also got 3-0'd, and Ultra have been winning game 5s left and right, so they clearly have the clutch gene right now. So we'll see how those 2 matches go. I'll have my eye on those. And the first 2 matches of the day, of course, will be very good. Gorillas are in great form. Empire, we haven't seen them play in a little while, so I'm interested to see if there's any rust that kind of comes into play there. But I think they'll perform well as always, and that's going to be a tight matchup. So yeah, guys, that'll just about wrap it up for me. Hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. And I hope you guys enjoy all of the COD today. I will catch you tomorrow. But be sure to check the link in the description for a link to the CDL's YouTube channel so you can tune into all the COD action. We have some great matches lined up today. And yeah, guys, that'll just about wrap it for me. So this has been Chris for Fake Sports News signing off, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.